The Imperial Arena was built for spectacle, steel walls, blazing lights, and an audience of millions roaring across the broadcast networks. The Empire's high command had promised a demonstration of superiority. Their finest soldiers would face a human prisoner in honorable combat. The human was not a soldier. He was a grease-stained mechanic named Jack Carter, yanked from a maintenance bay on the mining moon of Acheron after his freighter was seized. He'd been fixing a coolant leak when the Empire's troops stormed in. Now, he was shoved into the arena wearing torn coveralls, a wrench still in his hand. The announcer's voice boomed across the stadium. "Behold, the Praetorian Blades, champions of the Empire." The gates opened, and 5 armored figures stepped out. Each stood over 2 meters tall, plated in black composite armor etched with gold. They carried energy glaives that hummed like a predator's growl. The crowd's roar became deafening. On the opposite side, Jack squinted up at them. "Well, crap." He glanced at his wrench. It wasn't even the good one, just a mid-sized carbon steel job he kept for tight engine spaces. He gave it a test spin in his palm anyway. The signal horn blared. The first warrior lunged forward with inhuman speed, glaive sweeping in a deadly arc. Jack sidestepped, years of crawling through cramped engine guts giving him a knack for moving where bigger men couldn't. As the glaive bit into the sand, Jack's wrench came down hard on the exposed wrist joint. Metal shrieked, hydraulics spat steam, and the warrior's weapon clattered to the ground. The crowd gasped. The warrior roared and charged barehanded. Jack ducked, slipped under an armored arm, and jabbed the wrench into a seam at the warrior's back. A spray of coolant misted the air. The giant dropped, twitching. For left. Jack backed away, heart hammering, mind racing. These suits, he knew this tech. The Empire used similar servos on their cargo haulers. They'd skimped on thermal shielding. Idiots. The second and third warriors came at him together, one fainting high while the other went for his legs. Jack dove into a roll, snatching up the dropped glaive. He didn't know how to use it, but he did know how to wedge it into a joint as a lever. He jammed the weapon between the knee plates of the second warrior and yanked with all his strength. The servo lock popped. The giant toppled sideways, smashing into his partner. Jack didn't waste time. He slammed the wrench against the emergency release latch on one helmet. The visor hissed open, and he headbutted the alien inside. 3 down. By now, the crowd wasn't roaring. They were holding their breath. The Praetorian Blades were supposed to be invincible. This filthy human wasn't supposed to last 30 seconds. The fourth warrior approached slower, circling, learning. Jack shifted his grip, sweat stinging his eyes. This one was cautious, disciplined. The two traded feints until Jack spotted it. A thin vent near the shoulder. Probably exhaust for the power core. He darted in, slammed the wrench down on it, and the vent cracked. The warrior froze, armor systems screaming in protest, then collapsed as the core overheated. Only one left. The final Praetorian towered above Jack, black armor gleaming under the lights. They circled in silence. The warrior attacked with blinding speed, and this time Jack couldn't dodge clean. Pain exploded in his ribs as the glaive's haft caught him. He staggered, tasting blood. The warrior raised the weapon for the killing blow. Jack threw the wrench. It spun end over end and slammed into the warrior's visor with a metallic clang. The alien reeled. Jack lunged forward, grabbed the glaive, and drove it straight into the chest seam. The armor systems wailed, then died. The giant fell. Silence held for a heartbeat. Then the stadium erupted. Not in cheers for the Empire, but in the stunned, chaotic roar of a crowd that had just seen the impossible. Jack bent over, hands on his knees, gasping. An announcer's voice cracked over the comms. "Incredible! The human has won?" Jack wiped sweat from his face, retrieved his dented wrench from the sand, and muttered, "Should have brought the good one." Somewhere deep in the Empire's command center, admirals and generals stared at the feed. Their greatest warriors had fallen, not to an army, not to advanced weapons, but to one furious human mechanic who understood machines a little too well.